Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So today, I know I've been kind of late with this, but I had to show my love and respect because not only is February, it's Black History Month. So this person, oh my gosh, without him, where will all the lovers be for this? Peanut butter! So we have George Washington Carver. Yes, we have him. So I'm just reading off some, and then we're gonna. So, George Washington Carver, he was born in 1864. They don't tell you his exact date of birth, but he was born in 1864. And he died January 5th, 1943. Wow. He lived, so he's over, I about to say he's like over 100 years old. I'm not even sure how old he is. But y'all do the math in the comment section down below. If not, I'll do it and put it across the screen. Okay? He was an American agriculture scientist and inventor who promoted alternative crops to cotton, which is awesome. I did not know that. I just knew of him of the peanut and methods to prevent soil depletion, which is good. So they're basically a way to keep your crops growing without dying too fast. He was the most prominent Black scientist of the early 20th century. While a professor at Tuskegee Institute, Carver developed techniques to improve soil depleted by repeating plantings of cotton. What? Oh my God! So basically, he used cotton to keep the soil from, getting going fast. Basically, smart. He wanted poor farmers to grow other crops such as peanuts and sweet potatoes. So is he the reason why we got sweet potatoes too? I love me a good sweet potato. As a source of their own food and to improve their quality of life. Smart man, smart man. The most popular of his 44 practical bulletins for farmers contained 105 food recipes using peanuts. Smart man. He like, listen, if you're going to survive out here, you're going to survive and survive well. Although he spent years developing and promoting numerous products made from peanuts, none became commercially successful. Apart from his work to improve the lives of farmers, Carver was also a leader in promoting environmentalism. He received numerous honors for his work, including the Springham Medal of the NAACP in the era of high radical polarization. His fame reached beyond the Black community. He was widely recognized and praised in the white community for his many achievements and talents in 1941. So basically, 2 years before he died. Time magazine dubbed Carver a Black Leonardo. That's what's up. Amazing. So, a colored film of Carver shot in 1937 at the Tuskegee Institute by African-American surgeon Alan Alexander was added to the National Film Registry of the Library of Congress in 2019. Wow, I did not know that either. The 12 minutes of footage include Carver in his apartment, office, and laboratory, as well as images of him tending flowers and displaying his paintings. The film was digitized by the National Archives as part of its multi-year effort to preserve and make available for historically significant film collections of the National Park Service. That was amazing. All right, so this is his backstory. He was born into slavery in Diamond Grove, now Diamond, Newton County, Missouri, near Crystal Place, sometime in the mid-1860s. That's crazy. They don't have his exact date of birth. The day of his birth is uncertain, and it was not known to Carver. Oh, because back then when you're born a slave, you don't have basically nothing stating your age. You basically just know your name. Wow, that's crazy. And that's crazy how, we were brought up and brought into this world. Wow. But it was before slavery was abolished in Missouri, which occurred in January 1865. During the American Civil War, his master, Moses Carver, was a German American immigrant. So basically, he got his name from his master. So was his real name George? Hmm. I don't know, but let's continue. Let's see what else they said. So, who had purchased George's parents, Mary and Giles, from William P. McGinnis on October 9th, 1855 for $700. All right, so his real name was George. Okay. Giles died before George was born, and when he was a week old, he, his sister, and his mother were kidnapped by night raiders from Arkansas. George's brother, James, was rushed to safety from the kidnappers. The kidnappers sold the trio into Kentucky. Moses Carver hired John Bentley to find them, but he found only the infant George. Aww. Moses negotiated with the raiders to gain the boy's return and rewarded Bentley. After slavery was abolished, Moses Carver and his wife Susan raised George and his older brother James as their own children. They encouraged George to continue his intellectual pursuits, and Aunt Susan taught him the basics of reading and writing. So kind of like that was like a gift and a curse. Black people were not allowed at the public schools in Diamond Grove. George decided to go to a school for black children 10 miles south in Neosho. When he reached the town, he found the school closed for the night. He slept in a nearby barn. By his own account, the next morning he met a kind woman, Mariah Watkins, from whom he wished to rent a room. He identified himself, Carver's George, as he had done his whole life. She replied that from now on his name was George Carver. So basically back then they pronounced their name for their last name first name. George liked Mariah Watkins and her words, "You must learn all you can, then go back out into the world and give your learning back to the people," made a great impression on him. At age 13, because he wanted to attend the academy there, he moved to the home of another foster family in Fort Scott, Kansas. After witnessing the killing of a black man by a group of whites, Carver left the city. He attended a series of schools before earning his diploma at Minneapolis High School in Minneapolis, Kansas. Dang, he just had it rough. But good thing he didn't let that stop him. During his time spent in Minneapolis, there was another George Carver in town, which caused confusion over receiving mail. Carver chose the middle initial at random and began requesting letters to him to be addressed with George W. Carver. Someone once asked if the W stood for Washington, and Carver grinned and said, "Why not?" but never used Washington as his middle name and signed his name as either George W. Carver or simply George Carver. Wow. See, you learn something new every single day. Like, that was incredible. I was not expecting this. So he attends college. He does study more into his plants and flowers. Then after that, he obtains a loan to go for a bank. By then, he goes into college, another college, and he applies his studies more into plants. And he taught as the first black faculty member at Iowa State. Oh, okay. Then in 1896, Booker T. Washington, the first principal and president of the Tuskegee Institute, now Tuskegee University, invited Carver to head its agriculture department. Carver taught there for 47 years. Wow. Developing the department into a strong research center and working with 2 additional college presidents during his tenure. He taught methods of crop rotation, introduced several alternative cash crops for farmers that would also improve the soil of areas of heavily cultivated and cotton, initiated research into crop products, Kimmergy, and taught generations of black students farming techniques for self-efficiency, which is amazing. So basically, like I said, you know how Survivor is. You If you got the crops and you know how to plant and stuff right, you can live a substantial life. Like, you don't got to go to a store. Whatever you grow, you can eat. Self-sufficient. Carver designed a mobile classroom to take education out to farmers, which is kind of like remote learning here. He called it a Jessup wagon after the New York financier and philanthropist Morris Ketchum Jessup, who provided funding to support the program. Amazing. Wow, he was doing the thing at Tuskegee University. Wow. Okay, Carver started his academic career as a researcher and teacher in 1911. Washington wrote a letter to him complaining that Carver had not followed orders to plant particular crops at the experiment station. This revealed Washington's micromanagement of Carver's department, which he had headed for more than 10 years by then. Washington, at the same time, refused Carver's request for a new laboratory, research supplies to his exclusive use, and respite from teaching classes. Washington praised Carver's abilities in teaching and original research, but said about his administrative skills. When it comes to the organization of classes, the ability required to secure a properly organized and large school or section of a school, you are wanting an ability. When it comes to the matter of practical farm managing, which will secure indefinite practical finance results, you are wanting again an ability. Wow. Basically, he wasn't going for it. Booker T. Washington. Carver developed techniques to improve soil depletion by, we did that already. Carver's works are known by officials in the national capital before he became a public figure. President Theodore Roosevelt publicly admired his work. Former professors of Carver's from Iowa State University were appointed to positions as Secretary of Agriculture. James Wilson, a former dean and professor of Carver's, served from 1897 to 1913. Henry Cantwell Wallace served from 1921 to 1924. He knew Carver personally because his son Henry A. Wallace and the researcher were friends. The young Wallace served as a U.S. Secretary of Agriculture from 1933 to 1940. Wow, okay. So, in 1916, Carver was made a member of the Royal Society of Arts in England, one of only a handful of Americans at that time to receive this honor. Carver's promotion of peanuts gained him the most notice. In 1919, Carver wrote into a peanut company about the potential he saw for peanut milk. Both he and the peanut industry seemed unaware that in 1917, William Mushel had secured U.S. patent for a milk substitute made from peanuts and soybeans. So is that kind of how we got almond milk today? George Washington Carver was onto something that we ain't know about. Like, so brilliant. Like, so brilliant. He was ahead of his time, for real. Wow, the things you learn about people from back in the day is so amazing. He did his thing, and he lived, I guess, a fruitful life. Because look at us now. Okay. Upon returning home one day, Carver took a bad fall down a flight of stairs. He was found unconscious by a maid who took him to a hospital. Carver died January 5th, 1943, at the age of 79 from complications, anemia, resulting from this fall. So basically, he had like I would say a bleed in his body. Wow. He was buried next to Booker T. Washington at Tuskegee University. Due to his frugality, Carver's life savings totaled $60,000, all of which he donated in his last years, and at his death to the Carver Museum and to George Washington Carver Foundation. On his grave was written, "He could have added fortune to fame, but caring for neither, he found happiness and honor in being helpful to the world." Aww. So, guys, I hope y'all enjoyed this for Black History Month. George Washington Carver. Please give it a like, comment down below, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell so that you'll be notified every time I upload. And I will see y'all in the next one. Bye.